Good morning, everyone. Sorry for the late start. So just give me about a few minutes, then we begin. Give me 2 minutes as I close on something. So we are doing a resumption of previous Zoom trainings. Julius and Martin, welcome. So I'm trying to compile the files that we're going to use for today's training. So just bear with me for a few minutes, then we will we'll begin. So today we will be having 2 sessions. One session is the one that we're starting now, and the other one will be from 11:45. We'll handle the second session because we are trying to cover as much more theory as possible, so that it's a bit fast. So in case you are not hearing me, or you're facing some issues, you can reach in the chat section, or maybe you can ask, you can raise your hand. So I'll allow you guys to be able to unmute yourselves. So in case you are having issues or you cannot hear me well, you can just reach us. You can reach to me, and we'll see how we can handle it. So just a minute before we resume, I have to compile some files. Okay. So my name is Shelton. I'm from the Tech Support Department at Dahua Technology Kenya Limited. So we have been doing trainings before, and at the moment we are progressing with the DHSA VSS certification training. For those maybe who are joining us who are not aware which progress we are at the moment. So we are continuing with the certification for DHSA VSS. We'll be diving this week's training. We are diving into products for Dahua. That is the IPC products. It's a part of the certification requirements. In last week's training, we covered a bit of a ground on the IPC products. So we also mentioned about a naming rule that we use in our products. So you might see these names in our products in of cameras, NVRs, etc. So we have naming rules for those products. So based on the naming and the numbering that you find in the product model, you'll be able to know what's the function of this device, what it does, So such information is very useful while deciding which product you're going to purchase, or deciding which product to suggest to the customer. So with the grasp of in the knowledge of naming rule of Dahua products, it will enable you to easily identify and easily interact with our products in a convenient way, and it will make your life more comfortable and easier while handling our products. So as I said before, it's good for you to know the naming rule that we use in our products. So we did this in our last week's session, and I'm not going to repeat because of time and because of the ground that we need to cover for our training. So if in case you need to do a follow-up on the same or do a check, all the training videos are always recorded and they will be available online on YouTube. The link is available, will be available for you guys to check. So today's training will be 2 sessions. Our first session will be this that we're doing now. The next one will be from 11:45. So if you're joining us now, it's good maybe join us for 11:45 for the next session for this product IPC product introduction. So we covered the naming rule last week. We covered the panoramic series. So last week we had 1 session, but this week we're going to have 2 sessions for 2 days. Then tomorrow we'll have another. Tomorrow we'll have another session for training also. So for the communication regarding the training, it will be communicated in the groups that you guys are in. So just give me a minute. So I will. Thanks. Trust naming is something that you can share. So the naming rule will be available. As I said before, the training is recorded. So the videos are available online. I'm still working on the sharing of the files. So for those, maybe we need a letter, a reference or letter, it will be available. So it's good to have the grasp of the naming rule. Just a recap on the same. Naming rule products are below. So if you see cameras that start with 1, you find HFW 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So not 6. So the numbering is from this hierarchy. So you have entry level cameras, light cameras, WizSense Pro, WizMind, up to WizMind panoramic series. So you have, like, for this case, entry series are cameras with 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, then 8. Then you have special camera series. So the naming rule will just maybe for the examination purposes, just because it's something that's not just as easy to grasp as you can say. But what we'll do, we'll only set maybe the basic questions in the naming rule. So we just get to know about maybe which number represents megapixels or video format, and etc. So we already did this explanation on this information. We did a panoramic series. So we've talked about this camera with the PTZ at the same time with the panoramic, which functions it has. Remember, we also talk about this information on our introduction to cameras information before. So we also talked about the fisheye. So fisheye camera is a very important camera. Maybe while you are doing a suggestion to customer, especially in a retail business. So to increase customer support, to do better service delivery, you you can typically use an fisheye in supermarkets. It's a very good camera to do queue management, people counting, and the statistics that you create from such cameras while doing suggestion to of solutions to customer is very good. We also talk about more of fisheye cameras, the features that fisheye camera have, including people counting, dewrapping mode. So all this information that the heat map, for those who don't understand, maybe you can do a check on our maybe the second training on our DHSA VSS certification training. We did about these features. We talked about what is a heat map, what is perimeter protection, what is dewrapping, people counting, and etc. So all this information we covered in our last week's training, just a recap on the same. Then we resume on what we're going to do this week. Okay, so if I'm not wrong, we're supposed to do a special series cameras that Dahua offers. So this is the place that we will begin this week. So we have a special series camera, like instead of having them numbered in the hierarchy, they are in special types of camera. So the special types of camera include cameras with dual lenses. It's a camera that we typically used for people counting. The same with this, dual lenses mostly are used for people counting cases. We have cameras that are specifically made for the corner situations. And we have pinhole cameras. So we just get to know this camera. Maybe for reference, you can use the product naming rule to check on the same. So for the product naming rule, it's I'll send the file in the groups because you can use that one for the public domain. The dual lens camera. So the features for dual lens camera, because it's a special camera, we have features like fall detection. So this is in sensitive areas like construction area. You can install such cameras for the sites. So it can detect an object falling or someone falling. We have strand detection. Typical also application is maybe airports and airstrips where you can have someone maybe stranded in bus stations, etc., railway station. People approach. So in high sensitive areas or where you did high security and analysis, you would typically use these such cameras because the AI features for such cameras is quite remarkable. So I think we cover this information because we talked about, we checked the videos on alarms created when someone falls. So you can zoom on your phones. If you are using your phone, you can zoom on the videos, then you can check. We have cameras for violence detection. So these are what what the company offers. It's you now on the installer side or maybe the technician to pitch the solution to the client and tell them what we can offer and do installation on the site. So maybe later we'll do how to configure them and such, but I don't think it's covered in this scope of DHSA certification. Okay, now we are done with the special type of cameras. So we are going to now to WISMID 7. So the hierarchy is like this. We begin with WISMID panoramic series. We're going to special cameras. Then you're going to do WISMID 5, WISMID 7 as we go down. So we are at WISMID 7. The current in the local market in Kenya, we are not. The WISMID 7 cameras are only for project-specific cameras. This is because the cost for such cameras is quite high. At the same time, the AI functions is good because all cameras that have WISMID 7 can do number plate recognition. So if you see just a camera with number 7, beginning with the number 7, just know that camera can support ANPR. So these are general functions for WISMID 7 cameras, including face detection and recognition, privacy protection. So we'll get to know what privacy. I think we talked about this in camera features. So this is what we already did. All the Wismin 7 cameras support target classification. That's where you target classification mean you can categorize an object based on whether is it a vehicle, a human, which type of vehicle, what color of the vehicle. So it's a very good camera in doing surveillance and doing analysis. So all Wismin 7 can also do perimeter protection. All these functions we did with camera functions. So a typical scenario for Wismin face recognition with the Wismin 7 cameras is this. So for face recognition to occur, it will need to compare in the database. So you can see from your screens. There's the video metadata. So metadata is basically data about data. So when you're doing video metadata with the Wismin 7 cameras, if you are maybe taking a picture of a car, you get to know which type of color, which type of whether it's getting smoke, which. So like metadata is those little information that you need to get from a general object. So let's say you're taking a picture of someone. So for the picture of someone, you'll need to do video metadata, including whether the person is wearing glasses, whether the person has beard, whether the person is smiling, the facial expressions, whether the person has mask. So that's the video metadata definition. So for those of us who are joining us, we are doing a resumption of our training on DHSA VSS certification. We are doing IPC products, that is the IP camera products in Dahua. So we are handling the different levels of IPC products. And also we are doing, this is our first session of today's training. So the next session will be at 11:45. We do another session so that we cover more theory and more ground. So apart from that, we'll also have training tomorrow. It will be still online. Then later, after we have covered more ground on theoretical part, we'll do the practical part. Another function for Wismin 7 is privacy protection. So you can see privacy protection in demonstration on your screens. So like for this case, in this scenario, people would don't want to be identified who they are. So you see, like you're protecting people from identification. It's like it's like doing redaction. So for those redaction on documents, you can zoom on your screens to check the video. So for this case, you are doing analysis of people, but you don't get to capture their faces. So I think it's something that if you have, this such information exists, you can use it to poach to clients. So for privacy protection with these Wismin 7 cameras, you can do up to detection rate of 98%. Target detection, you have 64 objects per frame. Like you remember we talked about what frames are in a video. So in each of the frames you can do 64. So that 64 is a very large number. Like for this case, in this picture, you can do 64 items analysis. So the frame output is 60 FPS. With Wismin 7 cameras, we have a NPR. So all Wismin 7 cameras support number plate recognition. For those who don't know what NPR is number plate recognition. So apart from Wismin 7 doing NPR, so because of the cost of Wismin 7 cameras, we have specific cameras that do number plate recognition, which are called ITC. So for those of us who have done number plate recognition and installation of barriers, maybe they have interacted with ITC. It's a cheaper version of Wismin 7 cameras. So instead of having all those features at a cost, you have ITC with the number plate only at a cheaper price. Mohammed, I don't hear any song. I think I'm, hello. Hello. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I think the problem was on my side. I think now you can hear me. So you're talking about the number plate recognition. So apart from doing number plate recognition, we also do barriers. So we have that why we have barriers apart from the number plate. So we have number plate cameras at the same time barriers. So always mean 7 cameras can do number plate recognition. So functions for Wismin 7. Another function is a polar light, supreme night vision. So while we're doing camera introduction, we talked about starlight. Now we are talking about polar light. So polar light is like a better version of starlight. It's doing about color imaging in environments of low illuminance. Like in dark scenarios, you get to have clear images. And then after polar light, now we have full color cameras. So functions of Wismi 7. So as the hierarchy lowers in the numbering of the cameras 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the functions also lowers based on the needs. So we have covered with Wismin 5 cameras. We're going to cover now Wismin we have covered Wismin 7. We're going to cover Wismin 5. So Wismin 5 cameras are these ones are available locally. So majority of the cameras that we are selling in this region of maybe Kenya and East Africa are Wismin 5 cameras. So all Wismin 5 cameras have these features. So if maybe you're going to purchase a device or a camera, it's good for you to know what the camera can support instead of going to the field trying to achieve a function with the camera, of which in the case the camera does not achieve that function. So it's good for you to know our products well, so that when you're doing a suggestion on a product or to clients, or maybe you're doing installation, you don't get that hard time. You get to suggest a good product and to know which function meets on the products, and also handle cases of cost and saving on cost basically. So all Wismin 5 cameras do facial detection. So remember we're talking about Wismin 7, we said that all of them do facial recognition. Now, if you're handling Wismin 5, all Wismin 5 can do facial detection, not recognition. So I hope that is clear. So if maybe you want to achieve a facial recognition with Wismin 5 cameras, you need to have a facial recognition recorder. So you're doing facial detection with the camera, and then you're going to do facial recognition with the recorder. So the recorder side is the one that's going to do recognition, while the detection is on the camera side. So the functions for Wismin 5 include face detection, perimeter protection. So we talked about perimeter protection. About this one is more of IVS, intelligent video surveillance. About tripwire, we talked about tripwire. We talked about abandoned object, etc. So another functions for Wismin 5 cameras is SMD plus. So what is SMD plus? SMD plus in full means smart motion detection. So you find a scenario where you're installing cameras that you want to achieve good motion or better realization of objects. SMD plus will do that very well, because SMD plus will be able to know a difference between a human, a cat, and a dog. So that's the features of Wismin 5. Another features for Wismin 5 includes heat map. Remember, we talked about heat map function in a fisheye camera. So Wismin 5 can also do heat map functions. So if you have any question, you can reach out in the chat section, or maybe something is not clear, you can get on the chat section. So all these functions about heat map, face metadata, people counting, we talked about them in the introduction to cameras, and we know which what the functions are. If you don't know, you can review on the videos, because all of them are available online. So So for face detection for Wismin 5, how it works, you capture face from the camera side. There's the optimization. Optimization it comes in the case where you have to enhance the number of pixels in the camera. Then there is doing metadata. So metadata cases, you remember we talked about what metadata is getting those little features from an object, like the person wearing glasses, that the person have beards, what is the facial expression of the person, do they look old, and etc. and etc. So you're getting to do face metadata from the Wismin 5. Then FR side will be done in the NVR, facial recognition. People counting function in the Wismin 5. So people counting function, we talk about what it is. It's more of counting objects and people. So you have people counting in areas, people counting in while crossing a region, and we also have this very good statistics report done with the DSS software. So you get to this statistic report. So in cases in retail business, so you can provide such solutions maybe for good customer service for supermarkets and malls. So we are going to do the training for today is 2 sessions. So we are doing the first session at the moment. Then we'll do another session from 11:45 for those of us who are joining us. So at 11:45 we are going to begin the second session on theoretical part. The reason why we're doing 2 sessions is because we need to cover more ground on theory part, as the theory is quite large. So tomorrow also we're going to do theory part. At 11 we're going to begin also do another training session, so we cover more ground on the same. Okay, we resume on people counting case. Also we have people counting in an area. You have queue management. So if you're doing service delivery, like in a cashier side on the supermarkets, you can use such solution to provide better customer service, where you have setting where, in case the number of queue is very long in one cashier and then there's another very less, you can create alarm on the same. If people are staying in a queue for quite longer time, you can create an alarm on the same. So we proceed with the functionalities for Wismin 5. So I think you can check the videos from your screens. So the functions below are general functions. So if you're buying a camera with the 5 series, you can achieve such a functionality. If you cannot, you can contact us. You can check on the same. But this is basically the generalization for the Wismin 5 cameras. So you can zoom on your screen. So these are perimeter protection with Wismin 5. So after doing Wismin 5, we are doing Wismin 3. Maybe those of us who are maybe not in contact with us. So we are introducing in our products of Dahua. So we get to know. So apart from talking about functionalities in our previous trainings before, you get to know which products are support which functions and which. So you see in this hierarchy on your screens. So the hierarchy is below. We have talked about panoramic series. We have talked about the special series cameras. Now we're talking about Wismin 7. We have talked about Wismin 7. We have talked about Wismin 5. Now we're going to talk about Wismin 3 as we go down. So I'm going to repeat. After this training, we are going to have a break, then resume at 11:45. So this training will end in the next maybe 6 minutes. We end this one, then we'll begin another one at 11:45 so that we cover more ground on the theory part. Okay, let me just go through the Wismin 3 cameras. So with sense 3. So it's with Mint 5 and with Mint 7, then with sense 3. So with sense 3 cameras, all cameras that you are purchasing, whether bullet or dome, with 3 have we are going to explain about them what the functions are. So you can see from the list here, we have 3 at this point. So you have HFW 3. You also have this one is you typically you can install it in a lift elevator. So all the cameras with 3 values, those are cameras are called with sense 3. So all with sense 3 cameras have the functionality below. So all with sense 3 are generalized with SMD plus. So SMD plus will enable you to distinguish between what humans and dogs. So that's a function that maybe if you're purchasing a camera, you know it has SMD plus, so you meet the user requirements. If the user only wants to do surveillance, you can go with a cheaper version and you don't need the AI functions on the side. So another function that all with sense 3 cameras support is H265. So it goes without saying that the functions for with sense 3 with Mint 7 can do that. So with sense 3 have smart function of H+265. When we're talking about compression in our previous trainings, you can refer if you are not familiar with it. So we talked about this. Always sense 3 can do perimeter protection. We also talk about this. Better image. So the better image comes in terms of quality. So sense 3 is the series 3 cameras. Protections, it has IP67, IK10, wide voltage, and the cost is very effective. So SMD plus demonstration you can see from the screens. So with motion detection, you can see you have alarm. Whilst with SMD plus, where you have you can do categorization of humans and other objects, the alarm is not triggered. So you can see with this case, SMD plus, you have the alarm is only generated when there is human. Well, in this case, even moving leaves will create an alarm because of motion. So always in survey support alarm. So if you're doing suggestion on products, put into consideration, you have to know our series of camera and which functions they offer. So the SMD plus comes in terms of false alarm trigger. We've talked about this. And also you have alarm visualization on the NVR, DSS, DMSS. It is like you're getting those pop-ups of alarms in, you can get them on the DSS. So if you're doing management center for your company, or maybe you have installed your clients, you can do monitoring on the DSS side. So another function for the WizSense 3 cameras include perimeter protection. So we're going to take a break at the moment, then we'll resume at 11:45. So just take about 8 minutes break. Then you just click the link again, we join, then we resume with the training. So we're going to have a break for the few minutes. If you have issues on joining the training, you just re-click the link that I've sent on the various groups in WhatsApp, or maybe you can click the link on you can, if you just send the link in the WhatsApp status. So I think we're going to end for now, then we resume at 11:45. Also tomorrow we'll be having training at 11 sharp, the same time. So we'll have tomorrow training because we need to cover more ground. So at the moment, we can end this meeting. So we meet in the next 7 minutes.